Hello. I know it's been a minute since I've done a little individual video. I don't know if you caught my live a few days ago with Dr. Leroy Logan, but I did say at the beginning that I unfortunately caught COVID-19 a few days before Christmas. This virus is no joke thing. You know what? I don't know who these people are who are protesting and saying that it's all some conspiracy theory or the virus doesn't exist. Listen, this virus is real. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm not going to bore you all with my COVID tales, as I did mention it a little bit, only for like 2 minutes at the beginning. So because of all the things that have been happening in Capitol Hill, and I'm having more and more conversations with the same businesses that thought they could ride the wave of last year and hope that they don't have to do anything because they thought black would stop trending. So this would all going to just like peter off. And now Capitol Hill is kicked off. And obviously it's then prompted the conversations again about racism, white supremacy, people need to do more, organisations need to do more. They're now thinking, oh my goodness. It typically goes something along the lines of, we have recognised that, there's much more that we can be doing. We've had a look around and we can see that, we need to get much more diverse people into the organisation. This is their words, not mine, by the way. More diverse people into the organisation. So we've decided that that's going to be our top strategic priority is going to be to get more black people into the organisation. Here's my thing with this. I have to take a minute because I really don't want to cuss. So I'm trying not to cuss. But this whole knee-jerk reaction of thinking that you can hire more black people and that's going to magically make your organisation anti-racist, or it's going to make your organisation look like it's more equitable, or it's going to look like that you're taking this seriously, isn't going to work. When you understand what racism is, so firstly, you have to make sure that you understand what it is, because I promise you, there are still some people that don't understand it. And when I say they don't understand it, they are still talking like they have a nice culture where people aren't racist and they don't say horrible things to each other. There's like rumours of racial discrimination, but not anything that could have been proven, Shereen, and you're getting all of this sort of stuff. And I'm having to say to them, well, probably, your culture is probably a hotbed of white supremacist ways, but that's probably a conversation a bit too hardcore, so I try and be a bit gentle. But when you understand all of the different elements of racism, the light bulb will go off in your brain to say, how does it make sense that we're going to hire in more black people and think that this is going to magically fix anything? Because it goes back to, forget the hiring and bias and all of that jazz, because that's like old hat with people like talking about, oh, we're going to, use like putting in things to interrupt bias at recruitment is going to fix racism. It's not, I'm not saying it's not part of it, it's just not it. So everyone gets really excited about the recruitment stage. But actually, when you have to break down what is happening within the organisation, I'm saying to them, well, if you're going to hire these black people, why are they coming to you if it's taken you all this time to acknowledge it? So you've got to come up with a narrative. So you've got to put in extra work because you didn't come off the blocks last year. So this mentality that they think that they're just going to open the doors and they're going to go, right, we're looking for black people, and all the talented black people are going to come rushing into the organisation is a fallacy. So they got to put in the work. They've got to put in the work from an employer branding point of view to say, listen, not only do we want you, but also you're safe here. And let me talk to you about the ways that you are safe here with us. I don't see enough organisations taking that approach, to be honest, because they're still like, oh my God, scouring LinkedIn for a black face. So all I'm saying is that the representation piece, one, is an output, it's not an input. But two, there are so many other things that you need to do. So when I'm asking them questions like, have you conducted a listening forum? Have you engaged in any sort of social listening with your black colleagues and the rest of the organisation and other marginalised groups, if you must, as part of your broader D&I strategy? Have you listened to them and their experiences? Have you asked them about how safe do they feel? Have you had a look at your data? All of these things that we know, and they're going to me, oh no, we haven't got around to doing that yet. So my thing is, you cannot bring in black talented individuals and then say to them, you know what, the culture is, we still got things to do, but you'll be fine until we get to these other things. Because when I then go, okay, so when are you going to get to some of this stuff? They're like, well, it's not really a business priority right now. So in all of that sordid tale, because it's real and it's more than one conversation, and I'm kind of like, just like very neutral facial expression, because in that context my job is not to judge. However, we have more work to do. All I'm saying is you've got to put in the work with this. It is not a quick fix solution. And actually, if you go out all guns blazing, excuse the, what's another phrase for all guns blazing, but you know what I mean, you go out all excited and like jazz hands going, oh my goodness, we're looking for, we're going to practice equity the one time and look for black candidates, and try and encourage them to keep in. Well, listen, I want to know what you're doing with the black colleagues that you already have. I want to know how you're listening to them. I want to make sure, I want to know what you're doing around if they do raise issues, how is that treated? Is there any retaliation going on? Or if they're saying nothing, why are they saying nothing? I remember having one CEO who said to me, well, I don't think racism is an issue in our business because no one has ever said anything. And he genuinely believed it, and I'm just... because I'm just thinking, I don't know what to say to that. Like, you're serious? Like, serious? And I was like, you do realise it doesn't work like that? And he was like, well, and this is what we've got to deal with. And you know what, I know some people will expect me to be more, what's the word, softer, when it comes to, helping people to understand. And I get all of that, but I keep saying it, at this stage in the game, there is no excuse for ignorance, because it's deliberate then, and all I'm saying to people is, look, you've got to go back and do a little bit more work. Go and talk to your teams. If you've got black colleagues in your organisation and up until this point they haven't said anything, you have to question why. Honestly, you have to ask the question. So before you get excited and put the ad on LinkedIn or get your talent acquisition people to start searching for the black faces, look at what's happening in your organisation. Because I do struggle with this idea that a lot of leadership teams have never looked at their business and never questioned why it's so white. And the reason why they've never questioned it is because it works for them and they feel comfortable. So if you're going to do something about it, you have to acknowledge the fact that you will feel uncomfortable to do something about it. But also you have to ask yourself the question, why did this never bother me before? And explore that. Because if you haven't done that level of self-reflection, it means nothing to me when you say, well, we're not a racist organisation. I don't have a racist leadership team, Shereen. I would have never hired anyone who was racist. And I'm a bit like, if that's what you're still saying, it means that you don't understand racism. So that's my soapbox for today. I am back on live next Tuesday at 6 p.m. So I hope to see you there. And, have a good rest of day. Crazy out here in these streets, isn't it? But someone's got to disturb the peace, and that will be me.